Hi, friends. I'm Hilary Anderson, and today I'm going to be talking to you about beauty, but not just the external beauty, more about the internal beauty. So before you men tune me out, I think you should stay and listen a while because I'm really talking about inner peace and peace with ourselves. So I think you might be able to find something intriguing in here as well. So just to give you a frame of reference of where I'm going to be going today, I'm going to be telling two stories, and I'm going to unpack them in a way that hopefully gives you a glimpse into how and what God has been doing in my life and in my heart in regards to internal beauty in the last decade. So I'm going to go back 7 years to start. And 7 years ago was right after I had my first baby. And I remember going into the bathroom and taking a photo and being so happy, like, oh, I can't believe my stomach's already a little bit smaller. That was a big tummy. And now it's just kind of amazing what our body can do. And then 7 months later, I had pretty much lost a Backstreet Boy size-wise. I took another photo, snapped it, smiled, and did a little Photoshop side-by-side comparison. And it was huge. It was a big difference, right? It was a lot of work put into that. And I sent the photo to my friend, and I said, I'm not even sure why I'm smiling in the first photo, which was just like the lamest thing to say ever, right? And her response, I waited. I saw the little ... And I waited and waited. And her response was like a kick in the gut in the best way. She said, I think you look beautiful in both photos. And the reason you're smiling in the first one is because you just had your baby. And I was like, oh, gosh, so true. How hard we are on ourselves after we have a baby, which is like a miracle in itself. But not only that, I'd worked years to have this baby, 3+ years of prayer, shots, needles, infertility to get to the spot of even having a child. And there's people that aren't even capable of doing that. There's people that aren't blessed with that opportunity. And here I'm going to say, why would I spend a moment, a fraction of my time picking apart my body after it did this miracle, creating a human life? Why would I spend an ounce of my time worrying about what my body looked like right after I had him? And yes, take care of our bodies. We're called to do that too, but we're also called to love ourselves in the midst, in the process, in the journey of becoming and changing and shifting. And we're always going to shift, right? I'm a little juicier right now than I normally am. And I think it's great. I'm totally fine with it. And I'm sure I will be a little bit more fit again someday, and it'll come and it'll go. But the goal for me is to be internally at peace with where I'm at so that I can take better care of my kids, so that I can love my husband, so that I can do the things that I'm called to do. But that inner peace is so necessary. The irony is I teach Pilates. I teach to really beautiful women. I teach to women who are crazy fit, and they will come in and want me to fix something on their body that is like the size of an eye wrinkle, and they call it fat. And they're like, please fix this. And I'm like, please let me help you fix your heart because you look perfect. There is so many beautiful people out there, so many perfect bodies, and yet they're still living in this little jail cell, comparing and trying to fix and wanting to fix their bodies when they can just be at peace and embrace where they're at. And that's part of the journey. And not just our physical bodies, not just our body, but like also our features, our face. And this next story, I'm going to take you back a couple more years. And this one was a real kick in the gut for me. I'm going to set the scene, and then I'll unpack it for you. So I'm at a pool, swimming with my kids. Off in the distance is my two grandparents sitting in Adirondack chairs. And I could feel them looking at me, playing with my kids. So this is 4 generations. My grandparents, my mom, who has passed away, their daughter. I am their daughter's daughter, their firstborn daughter's daughter. And their great-grandkids are playing in the pool. They're watching me. And I can feel their eyes on me, and I think they must just be loving watching their great-grandkids, and I'm going to just play with them, and this is so great. And I could feel my grandma. I could sense her standing up and walking towards me. And she comes over to the side of the pool, and she says, Hilary, can you look that way again? I want to take your picture. And I said, oh, Grandma, I look terrible right now. I don't have any makeup on. And her response floored me. She said, why would you say that? You look so beautiful. You look just like your mom. The mom that I lost a decade ago and that they lost, a daughter they lost a decade ago. And they're getting this physical glimpse of their daughter in the pool with their great-grandkids. And I say, I look terrible? I don't have my makeup on? What? It floored me. I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed that that would come out of my mouth. And it forever changed the way that I think and talk about myself. Imagining my grandparents having this heavenly moment. They're seeing a glimpse of their daughter who they haven't seen in a while. For whatever reason, my wet hair, whatever, I look just like her. And I do look just like my mom. And they wanted to get a photo to capture it. And I say, I don't look good? I don't have makeup on? And friends, we do that to ourselves. We do that all the time. We pick each other apart. We pick our face apart in this culture of Instagram and Facebook, and you can see this person is that and this person is that, and we're always fixing. But really, we're never at peace until we can get it in our brain, in our soul, that we're perfect the way that God designed us. There is a Father in heaven who looks down at us like my grandparents were looking at me, smiling and looking with joy over his creation, over how beautiful you are. And yet we still pick ourselves apart, and we don't have to. We can just choose to be at peace. The most beautiful person to me is my grandmother. If you know my Grandma Pat, which some of you listening to this probably do, you know what she does when she sees you. And I don't even have to know who you are, because whoever my grandma sees that she knows, she wiggles and she gets excited and she says your name and she says, come into my house. Can I get you a cup of coffee? Do you want a tuna melt? Do you want to play a game of cards? I'll let you in. Tell me about your life. And she invests into the people that she's with. She's not concerned about what she looks like. She might not even be perfectly put together, and she doesn't care. She cares about you. And the most beautiful quality I see in her is not only her confidence, but the way that she loves other people. She is the best gift to me, and the best example of beauty to me is that inner confidence and being others focused. And friends, that's what God desires for all of us. To release the comparison game, to release the perfectionism. Embrace your imperfections. I could stand here all day and pick apart my face, my body, my hair. But that's just partnering with Satan. We don't got time for that. Be others focused. Be an encouragement to other people. Find that contagious joy that can live inside of you. It can start today. Be grateful for the body that you have. Be grateful for the features that you have. You were born with them for a reason and for a purpose. And embrace them. Thanks.